Welcome back. I'm the guy who forgot to introduce himself last time too. This week, as you probably know, last Friday, the new Daniel Craig James Bond film Spectre came out, and so in lieu of that, I decided to go and watch the very first instance of Daniel Craig playing James Bond, Casino Royale, which I've never actually seen before. And so this is the first film where he actually really grew on me as that character. Unlike most of my friends who are my age, I grew up on the old ones with Sean Connery and Roger Moore, and so I was hesitant to accept Daniel Craig, but I really like Casino Royale. It does great, interesting things with the character, who typically comes off in the other films as an immortal badass and womanizer with basically no groundment in reality, and it makes it seem like a human character, and as a result, also a very broken character. So this film shares its title with Ian Fleming's original book. It's allegedly also a lot closer to the books, which I never read, than any of the previous iterations of the franchise. It also shares its title with a hilariously bad film from the 60s, which was just, it was just terrible. So I'm not going to talk about that, although I will say it has a lot of the same character names and even a few of the same plot points. But don't watch that film. Just watch the 2006 Casino Royale, which is the Daniel Craig version. This following review contains some spoilers about the plot and also spoilers about other Bond films in general, so if you're not too familiar with the franchise, maybe don't watch this yet. So the film it's sort of a Bond origin story. I never really fully realized that this film is his origin. So he becomes a 007 at the beginning of the film, and then he goes off to hunt down some terrorists, and he ends up squaring off with this guy called the Chiffre, which is French for the cipher, in a casino in Montenegro. And for some reason, the Secret Service decided the best way to take this guy down is to have him lose at a poker game and then have to hand himself over. It's a terrible plan, but it works great as a conceit for the movie, because there's a lot of films, the poker game, and in between scenes in the various hotel rooms where Bond gets paired up with someone called Vesper Lynd, who's way beyond the typical Bond girl, is just like someone he has to save. She is a fully developed character. She's very smart. She is intellectually completely on a par with him. They have this great scene on a train where they talk about, they actually psychoanalyze each other. He first, I guess this is his Daniel Craig's Bond way of hitting on people, and he talks everything that he figured out about her, and then she simply gives him back his same medicine, and it's great. And I loved her from that moment on, and so of course the movie decided to kill her at the end, because I get to why they kill her later, but just want to say she is in both the film's best scenes, the one where they meet on the train, and then later when they got attacked by two of these African guys in the hotel, and there was a fight and she had to kill one she's never killed before, and she goes completely panicky into the shower and can't seem to wash the blood off her hands, and he just joins her there and turns the tap from cold to hot, and it's just such a relief for her, and they just share this great moment of intimacy, which is, I think, it's contradictory to any of the love scenes in any of the previous Bond films, and that was the moment that completely sold the film to me, that this is a great new iteration of the franchise. It feels like it's necessary, and it fixes everything that was wrong with the character. The thing I have to say about the film, it is a bit long. It clocks in almost 2 hours, and some of the sequences with the actual card playing get repetitive. Also, the first half of the film is very high on action, and then the second half, actually character development kicks in. It's like, the first half seems like a completely different movie, and then later on it becomes much more interesting, but there's not like any huge scale action set piece. Well, there's one at the very end, but like from about the 1 hour mark to the 2 hour mark, there's no huge action set piece. So if you came to see that, it might not be the best Bond for you. Later Daniel Craig films fix this. Earlier I was going to explain why Vesper Lynd dies. Well, the truth is that Bond starts as a human being, and for them to continue the myth of him, he has to eventually stop feeling like a human being, that he's not in all the fears he's seen before. He's actually not awesome. He's completely broken inside, and the way that happens is that he wants to, after Le Chiffre has been killed, he wants to leave the Secret Service with her, and so the film And so the film engineers that she was earlier she was forced to by some bad guy, we don't know who, presumably it's the villain Spectre actually. She was forced by some bad guy to betray him, not actually betray him, but betray the organization she was working for because they had captured her previous boyfriend who was a humanitarian worker somewhere in Africa. And so she hands over the money that they had taken from the criminal, and she hands it over to whoever she's working for. He finds out that there ends up being a huge fight, and she effectively commits suicide in the end because she's broken, and that completely breaks him. And I think at that moment he becomes the character that we associate with James Bond, but in like a really dark and twisted light. And he goes and murders one of the head honchos of whatever evil organization they're fighting. And it's the first time he introduced himself as Bond, James Bond, which is his catchphrase, and it darkens the entire character. I have to say, I know a lot of people love that. I think I would rate it 7 out of 10 stars. That's my rating system. Absolutely, if you like any of the following, creative interpretation of existing material, origin stories, franchise installments that go darker, really go see this movie, and also watch future installments of the franchise. And I think that's all about all I have to say. So thanks for watching. If you're wondering, my name is Toby Richter. I don't think I ever said that in any of my other videos, but that is me, and this is my channel, and you'll be seeing future reviews here soon. So, until next time.